The Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake in Unreal Engine 5 just leaked, and yes, it's actually real, and the release date is happening sooner than you think. And no, we're not talking years or months, we're talking weeks away from playing a full Unreal Engine 5 remake of The Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which is really exciting. We have multiple insiders that have corroborated this story, a shadow drop is imminent, and we're going to go over all of the details. Guys, we have a lot to cover, so check the video chapters for easy viewing. Also, don't forget to enter the PS5 giveaway, those details are in the pinned comment, and let's get started. So if you haven't been following the Oblivion remake news, this story initially broke, I think it was a couple months ago, where a Virtuos employee told MP First that an Oblivion remake was happening and it was real, and the release could be happening very soon. Well, according to Nate the Hate, who is a popular industry insider who gets a lot of things right, someone asked him, "Hey Nate, are you expecting news about the Oblivion remake this month?" To which Nate the Hate responded, "Earlier this month or next month." And then he said release is likely to be sooner than the original June target, but still working to get details on an updated release date. Which he then came back to Twitter and gave a quick update on the whole situation, and he said this: "A quick update on the Elder Scrolls Oblivion announcement and release timing. As plans stand, both the release and reveal are targeting next month, April. The gap between the reveal and release will be minimal, and a shadow drop is possible." Which that right there is going to be insane. Like, if we get a shadow drop announcement and release of an Oblivion remake would just be absolutely mind-blowing. Like, the fact that this is real is crazy to think about. Now, the release of this news opened up Pandora's box. There was other insiders like Andy Robinson, who is a reporter over on VGC. He posted on social media with just a check mark, which basically is him corroborating the story from Nate the Hate. Now, apparently VGC also further confirmed Nate the Hate's information with their own independent sources. That adds even more credibility to Nate the Hate's initial reporting. So if we take the new information we got from Nate the Hate and then we couple it with the initial Microsoft FTC documents that mention the Oblivion remaster, like that was in a court case, so we know that there is at least some validity about a remake. But then there was a story from MP First where the Virtuos employee had on their LinkedIn that they were working on an Oblivion remaster as well. Now, we also got other specific details that were from MP First, which reported that according to the former Virtuos employee's personal website, it described the remake as a full Unreal Engine 5 remake, not just a remaster. And the remake would also have significant gameplay improvements and changes, including a revamped blocking system inspired by Souls-like games to address the, really boring and other frustrating mechanics, as confirmed by them. The game is set to also have highlighted sneak icons with reworked damage calculations, as well as a stamina system that's been tweaked to reduce the player knockdown frequency. Archery in the Oblivion remake will also have hit reactions, and the HUD was also said to be modernized, which I guess kind of makes sense. Like, whenever I think of a modernized HUD for Oblivion, I immediately think of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So if they're able to do anything like that, then that would be really awesome. But apparently the HUD was designed and aimed to be more appealing to younger players. So that's either concerning or exciting, I guess, depending on who you are. Now, according to the Virtuos employee from the MP First report, they were apparently working on the project from 2023 to 2024. So the development has been going on for quite a long time at this point. Now, I think an obvious question that a lot of people are trying to figure out is why start with an Oblivion remake in Unreal Engine 5 and not other Bethesda games like, for instance, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas? Well, I think the simple answer is we've had a Fallout game in the last, 10 years. I mean, the 2015 is when the last Fallout game came out, so I guess that's probably why. And then, of course, if you look at, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, we haven't had, an Elder Scrolls game since 2011, so it's been quite some time. Now, it does make sense for them to start with Oblivion, mainly because it was released in 2006, so it's not like super old that people don't remember it. And the fact that, Skyrim released in 2011 and that's had multiple special editions and remasters and all that other stuff. So really there is a market for an Oblivion remake. Now, we know that Sky Oblivion is coming out this year as well, so we're gonna get a remake regardless. But not even Sky Oblivion is like a remake. That is a love letter to fans. It was created by fans and it's gonna only be available on PC. So an Oblivion remake really gives the other fans of the Elder Scrolls that haven't gotten to play a new Elder Scrolls game since 2011, it gives them something to look forward to, and I guess to provide a pulse for the overall Elder Scrolls series. Like, even though Elder Scrolls Online is doing really well, there is a clear want for an Elder Scrolls-like game. That's one of the reasons why I think, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 did so well. On top of the fact that it was just an incredible game. It's probably one of my favorite games this year, if not my favorite game since The Witcher 3, but that's another topic for another discussion. Another reason why I think an Oblivion remake in Unreal Engine 5, makes sense is it could serve as kind of a test for Bethesda and rather Microsoft to kind of gauge the player reception for future remakes in Unreal Engine 5. I think they start with something like Oblivion, something not super well known like, for instance, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, but it's big enough to kind of serve as a test for the future. I think if the Oblivion remake in Unreal Engine 5 is successful, that could be, kind of further confirmation that they can start doing other remakes as well. Like I said, I think Fallout 3 and New Vegas are really prime candidates for similar treatment. Both games released in, 2008 and 2010, and they suffer from dated visuals and mechanics that are, kind of deter newer players. Like the fact of the matter is like, if you want to play Fallout New Vegas, you're pretty much going to have to install a mod for it to work correctly. Like Fallout 3 is obviously Bethesda's first Fallout title, and it could benefit from an Unreal Engine remake. Like, let's be honest. There's also the fact that I would love to see the Capital Wasteland with, the Unreal Engine vibe. And that's the same with New Vegas as well. Like the ability to play those games with enhanced visuals and stuff like that outside of PC would be awesome. Now, would that ever make me like uninstall Tale of Two Wastelands? No, it won't. But will it be easier to play my games that I really love with visuals that are in the modern era? Yeah, it would. But is there some concern as well? Like, could we lose some of the aesthetic of those games? Which, I think that's a genuine concern. Like, moving away from Creation Engine is a concern in its own. And there's the fact that Unreal Engine already has its problems. Like, I know a lot of developers don't like using the Unreal Engine. For instance, Warhorse Studios, Daniel Vavra basically said that the reason he went with the Crytek engine is because it's just an easier engine that scales better. Like, Unreal Engine does have its problems, and like, you have to do multiple things to be able to do a simple task compared to other engines. It's just kind of like, point and click. So yes, I think the Oblivion remake is a test for not only Bethesda, but it's also Microsoft as well. If it is successful, then Microsoft will spend more money on getting other popular Bethesda game studios IPs remade. Now, this also opens up the possibility that Microsoft might only want to spend money on games getting remade rather than new games. Like, would I love another Fallout game in the next like 5 years? Yes, I would. Are we going to get a new Fallout game in 5 years? No, we probably won't, unless the Oblivion remake is successful, because if it is, then pretty much every game in Bethesda's lineup is ripe for a remake. So now let's talk about the release date. As I mentioned before, apparently the Oblivion remake could be shadow dropped as soon as April, but would that make the most sense for them? I don't really know if a shadow drop would be, smart. Honestly, I was expecting a reveal during the Xbox Developer Direct, because we had news of the Oblivion remake initially first break around the Developer Direct, and now we're in March, and apparently it's getting dropped in April. But it's like, if you look at Xbox's lineup of games releasing, like, they are absolutely stacked right now. So I guess them doing a shadow drop of Oblivion could be really effective. Now, it's already been, kind of leaked, so I guess the shadow drop would make sense at this point. But it could be a situation where they, give us a trailer in April. Maybe Todd shows up and is like, hey, what's up, guys? We're giving you Oblivion. Here's a remake in Unreal Engine 5. And then they announce the release date for like a week, maybe 2 weeks later, which that would be cool. Now, there is an anniversary for Oblivion coming up. I believe, didn't Oblivion release like in March of 2006? So yeah, we are coming up on an anniversary for the Elder Scrolls Oblivion on March 20th, 2006. So who knows? What if we get the Oblivion remake announced this month and then they say, oh, the release is happening in April? That would probably make the most sense, because like, you've got the anniversary of Oblivion. I would expect like, people at Bethesda to show up for this remake. It would be a bit strange if Bethesda's Todd Howard or somebody at the studio showed up to announce the remake and the release date, because like, that's what they usually do. Now, granted, this is developed by Virtuos, but I'm sure Bethesda had their hands in it as well. So I would hope the reveal is more of a collaborative effort. I don't want just a random trailer to be dropped on the Xbox channel or anything like that. Like, I would want like Bethesda, either Todd Howard or somebody at the studio, along with the Virtuos, developers, to announce the remake. Like I said, this is the first thing we've gotten from Elder Scrolls outside of like, updates for Skyrim and, the anniversary edition and whatnot. So I would hope that they would make this a special occasion, especially if Virtuos cooked. Now, if it's, not the greatest remake, then, I guess they can, kind of separate themselves. But if the remake is bad, then I don't know anymore. I guess that also brings into question like the overall expectations with the Oblivion remake, because like, if you played Oblivion before, there's a lot of stuff in that game that feel pretty samey, specifically the dungeon and the combat. So like, in some ways, I don't want like a full one-to-one remake of Oblivion. I want something more like Skyblivion, which we're still getting that, but like, I want a remake that, is faithful but kind of expanded. But that's going to wrap it up with this video. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Are you excited for the Oblivion remake? Do you plan on playing it? Are you picking it up? Will it be on Game Pass? I'm sure it will. That's going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been your boy Wes, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.